Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be showing you guys how to make this welt pocket. But this pocket is basically for a suit, but you can use it for a senator as well. It's a very simple welt pocket making. So I'm going to take you guys through the process of how to construct this. It's very simple. If you like it, make sure you give it a thumb up and make sure you comment if you have any question below. I'll be in the comment section just a couple of hours after I upload this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get straight into the video. Okay, so firstly, as you can see, I already fused the two sides that I'll be using. This is just like a sample, just a sample tutorial. So I hope you guys understand. So I already marked the side in which I want to use, and I had fusing to the back also. So the wideness of the pocket is going to be a total of 3.5. And this side, you can see that the fusing I add on this fabric is a little bit larger than the second one. So I'll be folding this one just like a quarter of an inch. And the reason why I'm using this smaller iron is because I'm working with generator. If I am working with power, I will be using a steam iron. So that is it. So I'll be folding this. After folding this, the next thing I'll be doing is the size in which I want the pockets, the welt itself to be. So on this one is going to be at 1 inch. You can see that. So make sure you get a straight 1 inch on your pocket. So I'm going to iron this side also down. You can see that. You can see. So after ironing this, I can simply open it. This is what we're going to have. All we need is just the gaiters. You can see that. So the next thing we're going to do now is to attach it to the fabric itself. So I'm going to assume if you're making a suit, this is the front of your suit. Don't forget. And the place in which I add fusing is the back of your suit. So let's go to the sewing machine and do the joining. So as you can see, it's just a sample tutorial. So I'll be using any thread on my machine already. So don't mind me. But if you're doing this, make sure you're using a matching thread, especially if you're making a suit. Make sure you're using it. So the very first one I'm going to be sewing is going to be the larger one. You can see I'm just going to open that side because that's the side that I'm supposed to sew to the fabric. So it's quite glued together, so you're just going to open it. So after opening it, you can see where I'm not stitching exactly on the line. As you can see, the fabric itself is going to be the one at the back of the line. That's before the line, and I'll be stitching from the start of the first line that you're seeing there. So I'm just going to place it right here, and I'm going to stitch on the gaiters, just straight on that gaiters in which I fold, which is our first fold. You can see that. So the total pocket size is going to be 3.5, and that is what I marked there. Whatever you want to do your pocket is exactly what you're going to mark, and that's what you're going to follow. So make sure your hand is straight when you're stitching this part. You can see what we have. So I want you guys to pay good attention to this. This smaller one, this other one here, you can see that. Make sure you're cutting exactly the same size of fabric when you're making the pocket. I'm cutting, one is shorter while one is longer because it's just the sample video. But you should be using the exact same size for your pocket. So I'm just going to align these two together, just like that. But on this smaller, on the other one, the stitches is not going to be of the same size. I want you guys to pay attention so that you can understand what I'm saying. The stitches is not going to be of the same size. You know, we sewed 3.5 at that other one. This one is not going to be up to 3.5. Just pay attention to this. You see how long the stitch is. You can see what I have here. So if you take a closer look at this, it's obvious that one line is longer than the other. That is the most important aspect of doing this. you can see that the first one we see is longer while the other one is shorter. If you look at it at the back also, I hope you guys understand this. So one is longer while the other one is shorter. Now I have to like open it and cut it open. So I want you guys to also pay attention at this part because it is very, very important. So I'm just going to hold it together. You can see that. So I'm going to open it up like this. I'm going to put in my scissors. So now I'm not going to cut the fabric itself, the layers for the pocket. I'll be cutting the main bodice, which is the main fabric. You can see that. And I'm going to make the notch to exactly the place in which we sew. You can see that. I'm just going to notch it to that particular point, exactly like that. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Just fold it up to get the exact stitch part, and I'm going to also cut it also. You can see that to that particular point. Just make sure you get it to that stitch part. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one also. You can see that. So on the smaller one, just cut it. So here, don't forget, we are cutting only the bodice. You are not cutting with the pocket. We're cutting only the bodice to that notch part. You can see that. And we're going to do it at the bigger side also. Sorry, it's blurry. I believe you can see what I'm doing now. Cut it to the notch part. Okay, so after that is done, the next thing we are going to do is just to turn it inside. So for the smaller one, just fold it and just push it inside. Just have to go to the back side. You can see that. And this one also, just fold it together. I want you guys to pay attention very well here. This place is also very, very important actually. So make sure it is just balanced and make sure you balance the fabric itself. We already have our pocket square, which is at 1 inches in total. So that's, so far we already iron it down. That's not going to shake at all. That's what we're going to get as our result. So here, the next thing we're going to do now is to make a notch at this place also. So from here to that particular place in which we stitched before, I'm just going to cut it out. You can see that. I'll make sure I don't cut exceeding that stitched part. You can see. And also at this side also, I'll be cutting it to that. Basically, I use this for suits, but I recently used it for a senator outfit recently. That's why I decided to share it with you guys. So after that, I'm going to fold this to inside like this. Then I'm going to simply push it backward. Just like that. You can see, after pushing it backward, I can simply overlay it. So my pocket is like that. And when I turn it to the front, this is what we are going to have. Right? It's not a magic. It's quite simple, right? You're going to love this actually. Just try it and show me the results in the group or on Instagram. Send me your results and how it look. So this is what it's going to look like. You can see that. So the next thing you're going to do now is to give it a good ironing. Use your iron to give that place a good shape. Make sure that two fabric inside are balanced and you have your gaiters, because the gaiters is what we're going to stitch to the bodice itself. So get a straight line at each of the edge with your iron. So now you can see that it is folded. After ironing it, I have it fold just like that. So the next thing we're going to do now is to stitch it to the bodice. You can see that. So just fold it backward and make sure it is very, very balanced. How you want it to be, how you want the finished product to be. Just hold it down tight. You can see that. So after holding it down, just pull it up just like that and push it under the needle. You can see that. The particular gaiters in which we have, that is that place. I'm holding it very tightly, as you can see me like that. That particular gaiters at that point, that's where we're going to stitch. You can see that. So just stitch that place straight to the down part. That exactly like that. Now simply cut it out. So after stitching that part, you can see what we have, just like that. So we're going to do the same thing at this side also. Make sure it is balanced very well. You can see. After it is balanced like that, open it up, put it back up, just like that. And you're going to do exactly the same thing. Stitch your gaiters. After stitching your gaiters, this is what we're going to have. You can see that. So take your time to give it a good ironing. All those edges that are coming out is very simple. Just push it forward, push it out just like that. You know we already notched that side already. All you just have to do is just to cut it out. You don't need to trim it too firm. Just give a little bit of fabric at that point so you can still top stitch that fabric inside. You can see that. So if you're still seeing a little bit of this fabric, just like that, push it backward, fold it in, and you're going to make a stitch from the inside, not on top of the pocket. It does not show thread at all, so you're going to open it up and stitch it inside to hold it down. So at the back, if assuming I'm using this on a suit, I'm just going to trim the excess fabric. You can see, just wait. So I'm going to close the back first. Okay, sorry for that. I'm going to close the back. So at that stitch that showed down there, I'm just going to continue my stitch from there. You can see that. Depending on how you want the back pocket to be, if you want it bigger, don't forget your fabric has to be of the same size with the one up, like two pockets has to be of the same size. It's because I'm doing a sample, that's why one of this is longer than the other. So I'm just going to finish my lock. I'm just going to lock it there. So if you want a pocket to be deeper than that, make sure you cut a fabric that is deeper than this. So I'm just going to cut. So if I'm making this on a suit, I'm just going to trim it like this because suit is almost like a covered outfit. You cannot see the inside. The inside will be covered with a lining. So I'm just going to leave it like this. But if you're making this on a senator, you can see what we have in the front. So if you're making it on a senator, you have to like weave all these edges and all those white lining or the white fusing that we use. You're going to trim it out and weave all the edges around so that the back will be neat and smooth. So that is it, and this is what we're going to have. Just take your time to give it a good ironing and make sure it is relaxed very well. So after you're done, iron all the edges, put some steam inside on it so you can see what we have so far. So as simple as ABC, you can put in your pocket square. You're going to have a smooth sail. I believe you guys can do something better than I did here. It's just a sample tutorial, so I hope you guys enjoy it. You can see that as simple as A, B, and C. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumb up, and if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, drop it in the comment section. I'll be there to respond to all comments in the next couple of hours after upload. So I'll see you next time.